I'm live and I am a couple of minutes early, but that's okay. I also have terrible lighting, but I know some folks are planning on joining. Let me just see what I can see here. I'm so not used to doing chat that I'm always just getting acquainted. I'll just say hello here as well. So doing this chat tonight because it's sort of a busy time right now for me, and this is sort of a way to come on and chat for a little bit. Hey, Sunshine. Uh, I'm good. I'm glad you're able to catch it too. This is only the second one of these I've ever done, so this is still new and still figuring it out. I am not in my home right now. This is my friend's place. I am cat sitting, so I'm kind of trying to not have too much personal stuff in the background because it's not my place. But if you hear a little animal meowing or running around, it is like the most affectionate, needy cat ever. So I've been coming and staying here so that she has company. But yeah, I thought I would answer any questions anyone has and also just sort of chat a bit about what's going on in my life and my summer plans that are coming up, and how that may impact my channel and what's happening. It's been a busy week. Like, I didn't have a video up last Friday. I ended up doing some traveling to Toronto to visit friends, and just the timing of it, I couldn't seem to get my act together to get a video done with all the schoolwork that I was doing as well. And then this week I've been sort of in Ottawa doing my thing, but I've been trying to work ahead because I have a vacation coming up next week. Hi, Kate. I'm glad you could join. I just chatting about summer plans and things that are coming up. But again, if anybody has any questions, just type them in and I'm happy to answer. I'm in a busy week right now because next week I am going to camp for a week. I've done a video before, a little sort of like montage of my time at camp, but it's really sort of a chance to disconnect, and I'm hoping to relax a little bit. I'm there for 4 full days and like sort of a couple half days on the end. And it's like family camp, staying in a cabin on a lake with like a beautiful dock and get a chance to go swimming and stuff like that. But it means that I'm also trying to do all the work this week in terms of schoolwork so that I don't have to do very much next week. So it's like extra stuff I'm trying to get done. Hey, Mary, I'm glad you could join. So while I'm looking forward to going to camp next week, it's just been a busy week trying to get things done. And I'm also attempting to film videos so that I will have those posted through next week as well, which is a fair bit to get done. But I'm looking forward to the camp. So I'm going to be leaving to go on the Monday, which is Canada Day. So I don't know how many of you guys are Canadian who watch. I know I have some Canadians who are viewers, but I don't know like how the percentages of that is. But this is our long weekend coming up, and July 1st is Canada Day. And like, I don't think I can show, you won't be able to see out the window there, but the friend that I'm cat sitting for, which is the place I'm in right now, which is why I'm not in my house, their building is right next to my building, and we live like a 10-minute walk away from Parliament Hill in Ottawa. So we have like huge Canada Day celebrations here. For the last week, I've been walking past like Parliament Hill, and I've been seeing like a huge stage going up. I haven't even looked at who's performing because I'm leaving that day to go to camp, but it's always kind of fun being in Ottawa, at least for the morning of it. And then it starts getting kind of like a mess later on in the day with people drinking and partying and stuff like that. So I will be leaving that day to go camping, and then I'm up there for the week and then back the next Saturday. Thank you for the good wishes on my camping trip. Yeah, I am going to be taking all the sunscreen. I have the ordinary one that I did the review on, and I've been using another mineral sunscreen, one that is a mineral sunscreen that is sort of like made for kids. It's like a copper tone one. And it's okay. It's again really white and it doesn't sort of have the skin benefits that the ordinary one did. But I'm bringing those along from my face to my chest. And then I'm also just going to have like a regular sunblock for my body. But my goal is to not get sunburnt. That's like entirely it. I spend a lot of time in the shade, but sitting on the dock, going swimming, being in the sun, like I've managed to not, knock on wood, get sunburnt for the last couple of years doing this. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it and packing all the sunscreen. Sunshine asks, whatever happened with the notes in the lobby? I think that's what it was. So this is weird. I was sharing, yes. So it was probably about 6 months ago, I want to say. And I shared a couple of them, I think, on my Instagram. So it's the weirdest thing. There was a note up that very much was like a handwritten note next to the mailboxes in my condo building that said, was basically like, you and I met, talking about the dog park, and I think our dogs want to get together again. It was a very like flirty kind of note. And it said, like, find me on Bumble. And I was like, okay, that's strange, but like kind of cute. But if you both live in the same building, because you could only get into my building if you live here, it's a little weird. But I took a photo of it because I thought it was kind of cute. And then a couple days later, I was in the parking garage of my building, and there was another note taped up there that almost sounded like a reply back, but it was like the same handwriting. So I was like, okay, this is a little weird that this person is like leaving more notes up in my place. And after I took a photo of that one as well. And then after that, I saw somebody on my building has a Facebook group, so we can like share information and stuff like that. And someone was complaining, saying that there is somebody in the building who is advertising for Bumble in the building. So they weren't handwritten notes, they were advertisements for Bumble. But it seems like a really weird way. And at first I was like, maybe it's not really advertisements, maybe just somebody thought it was. But then since then, somebody left, who knew there was a Bumble magazine? Somebody left a Bumble magazine in the lobby. And somebody, same person, I'm guessing, left like Bumble cards like on our cars in the parking lot. So now every time I go into the lobby, it's maybe happened twice that there's been like some kind of like Bumble flyer in the lobby. I'll take it and I'll recycle it because like stop leaving advertising in my place. But it's also weird because like, are those ads really going to make you go on Bumble? I mean, I read that and I didn't think it was about me. So, and if it wasn't about anybody, nobody's going to go there to look for the person that they're meeting. And also, like, Bumble is an online dating community. Like, it's really specific. And I don't know how many single people there are in my building. So it seemed like a weird advertising kind of thing. And it was just very strange overall. So I thought it was cute, but it turns out it was like some kind of weird corporate marketing thing. And I don't know who in my tiny little building who's getting paid by Bumble to advertise to my building. It's very weird. Yeah, I don't know. And I didn't think that Bumble was like hurting for people. Like it sort of seems to be, from my friends who I talk to who are like single and looking on dating apps, it kind of seems to be the go-to one. So I don't know why they would be advertising like that. So the other thing that's happening, speaking of things in my neighborhood and in my building, the other thing that's happening basically when I get back from camp is Blues Fest is happening. And Ottawa has this weird thing where we have like music festivals that are named different things, but the music never goes along with the name. So Blues Fest is sort of like the big one. It's like a 10-day concert festival and people will buy like wristbands for like the whole time. But it's not blues music. It's like all kinds of music. And then there's also Jazz Fest, which is mostly jazz, but not entirely. And then there's Folk Fest, which also is not just folk music. But Blues Fest happens right outside the window of my building. So there's usually two stages, one on each end of a field facing each other, but the main stage faces towards me. So when Blues Fest is happening, I can see the main like acts that are happening. So this year there is the Backstreet Boys. That's actually one of the big ones. There's also the Killers who are going to be here. Offspring's going to be here, and there's like a number of different acts and different kinds of like genres. But the thing for me that happens is my neighborhood gets super busy because it's like tens of thousands of people coming down to go to this concert that's right outside of my place. So in past years, there's been like kind of, I don't mind it because like I live not on the first floor. I did live on the first floor for a while when I first moved here. And that was a little more concerning because you worry about sort of people being jerks around your place. But people drink and all that kind of thing, and then they're partying and they're around my building, and that's totally fine. Hi, Red Lily. Good to see you. Glad you could join us. So I don't know if I ever told this story on YouTube, maybe in a story time. I don't know. Um, but what they've done last year to try to stop sort of like the property damage and craziness that was happening around my building is they totally locked it down so that you couldn't even park or anything in front of my building. And there were like bylaw enforcers, like pretty much around the place the whole 10 days of the festival. So even during the day, you couldn't come and park. It was like no guest parking, nothing at all. Fine with me. I have an underground parking spot. So last year, I come home from work and drive into my underground parking garage, and somebody is parked in my spot, which has never happened before. It's like specifically mine, it's numbered and everything like that. And there's nowhere else for me to park because the parking enforcement is out there and my parking garage is like fully booked. So one of my neighbors I run into, and they let me know that their parking neighbor is on vacation. So I'm able to park in that person's spot for overnight. And I'm trying to give this person the benefit of the doubt. So like I kind of leave it for overnight, come back around 11 a.m. the next morning, and the car is still in my parking spot. So I end up going outside and run into one of the bylaw officers and tell them, what can I do about somebody who's parked in my spot, in my private spot? They're like, just go grab like a copy of your lease to show that it's yours, and we'll tow them in like the next 15 minutes. I was like, okay. I don't know if it's somebody who is like Airbnb-ing in my building for the time of Blues Fest, but I got them towed out of my spot, which I felt a little bad about, but it's clearly not theirs. And then as I was out doing errands the rest of the day, the security person from my building called me because the people who had parked in my spot were at the front desk asking where their car was. And was like, well, in a towing lot somewhere? Like, you don't randomly park in someone else's place and like don't leave a note or anything about it. So Blues Fest tends to be really crazy. So yeah, I'm going to camp on Monday. I'm staying until next Saturday. By the time I get back on Saturday, for the next 10 days after that, there's going to be this big concert going on outside my place. And then at the end of July, July 26th, 27th, 28th is when I have all of my exams for school. So I'm kind of trying to get a bunch of work done this week so that I can actually have like the 4 days at camp to like totally relax and like take a breath before I come back and just like go hardcore with the studying. One of the things I'll mention on here as well, because I don't know when I'll really get a chance. I've had a few people reach out and ask about the giveaway. And I did select a winner for the giveaway. It took me a little while to put into the description box of the giveaway that somebody had been selected because I realized a little bit of a wrinkle in how I was doing the giveaway. And now I can talk about it because it's not a big deal. But a lot of people, when they do these giveaways, they'll ask people to go onto a site like Rafflecopter or something like that to put in their information. And I always kind of thought that I liked it when there didn't have to be a lot of steps to entering a giveaway. So you just put your information in the description or like leave a comment, and I take everybody's names, put them into like a random selection kind of thing, and then a random name is chosen. But I realized that the way that I have to inform the winner that they won is by going and responding to their comment and saying, hey, you're the winner of the giveaway. Get in touch with me at my email address. And I realized as I was doing that, anybody who was kind of looking through the comments, if they knew, like I sort of gave a window of a couple of days of when I was going to be selecting the winner. But if somebody was, maybe not that ethical and was on it, they could be looking through the comments and send me an email pretending they were the winner. And I wouldn't really know because I don't know the email address of the person who's like the winner and if it's the right person reaching out to me. So I didn't really want to say that a winner had been selected until I had contacted the person and made sure that I had reached out and they had a chance to see and get in touch. So I'm thinking from now on, I'm probably going to sort of do the kind of giveaway where I ask people to like go to a specific link that's a giveaway and actually enter it there, just because I'm realizing there's kind of a loophole in what I was doing. And I've heard of some other people doing giveaways and stuff that is really like they have people who sort of try to like scam and say that they're the winner. So I'm going to look into ways of making sure that that's not a problem. And hello, Melissa. It's good to see you. I'm glad you could join. Um, so yeah, I feel like it's a little funny sort of chatting and like I see all your names and everything, but yeah, if there's anything you want me to talk about or address or anything like that, I'm happy to. I know I'm a pretty like low maintenance, low drama kind of channel, so it's not like there's burning questions or anything. I'm curious about you guys. Like, so I follow a little bit of what happens in like the YouTube community, not like a huge amount, but a little bit. Like I've seen some of the stuff about like Jaclyn Cosmetics lipsticks and that kind of thing, because I sort of do my beauty reviews on a budget, which is why I do like BoxyCharm and Ipsy mostly. I'm never really like trying to jump on and buy new releases right away. So I kind of don't get sucked into things that people are buying, like that are new releases that are like with influencers and stuff like that, unless they sort of come to me in my BoxyCharm. But I do admit that I've been kind of sucked into watching a couple of videos of people who are sort of cutting apart their Jaclyn Cosmetics lipsticks and seeing the stuff that is in there. And there's one woman, I think her name is Kenna. I'm trying to remember, but she's a cosmetic chemist who was talking very knowledgeably about the kind of things that happens in these sort of labs where they make these kinds of cosmetics. And I especially really enjoyed it because she actually went to the same university that I did. Not at the same time or anything. She's much younger than I am, and I didn't like focus in chemistry, but I was doing biology at the same university that she went to. So we probably had a lot of the same kinds of classes and stuff like that. But yeah, I was sort of sucked down that hole a little bit of kind of the drama of that, but more just sort of like the weirdness of looking at how did these lipsticks have all these problems with them. Red Lily asks, have you ever used doTERRA face products? I have not. I don't think I've heard of them before, unless, no, I don't think I've heard of them before. I have so many face products lined up, like skincare products lined up to test out. And because I try to do like longer term kind of tests with them, I just have them like lined up ready to go. I've been trying out the Dr. Brandt cleanser that came in my last Boxy Luxe, but I've kind of gone back and forth because I started to have a little bit of some tiny pimples coming out. And because I was going and visiting friends sort of in Toronto, I kind of wanted to go back to a different cleanser for a couple of days to see if that would help it clear up. So I have to go back and then start testing it again because I want to give it some time being like the only face cleanser that I use to see what it's really doing for me. Yeah, Melissa says, YouTube can be a jungle. Don't get sucked in and hurt. I know. I'm so far apart from like any kind of drama. Like the people that I like on YouTube and that I watch are totally drama free. And I'm not involved in any of it. So I'm not going to get involved in any of it. And I'm so just removed from that. Let's see. The doTERRA thing. Essential oils is what they're known for. My doctor recommends doTERRA products. I haven't tried them, but I've heard it's a good brand. I think if it's what I'm thinking about with essential oils, like you guys have at it. I mean, I'm sure it's good and everything. I think they might be a multi-level marketing company, and I don't think that the products necessarily of multi-level marketing companies aren't good. I think they tend to be good products, but I don't really know how I feel about those companies and supporting them in the way they're set up. I have some friends who have been part of, like, I had a friend who sold like some of the lip scent stuff for a while, which is an MLM, and another person who is involved in like a couple of different ones. They're just kind of not my thing. So my impression has always been that, yeah, they tend to be good products, but I don't know how I feel about the business model. So that's kind of where I am, but I also don't know that much about it. So, yeah, Red Lily said same about the drama. That's why I watch you. Yeah, I try to do like product reviews and that's it. There was actually now I've branched into a little bit more than just product reviews on my channel, but something over. Red Lily says, just curious. I've never seen reviews on them. It's true, actually. I've never really seen reviews on them either, even though I think they're a pretty big company. So I'm surprised that I haven't, but maybe I'm not watching the kind of people who sort of like review essential oil products. But talking about doing reviews, this is going to be a very Canadian reference. So this is possibly going to be a thing just for Canadians, but well, two things actually. And one of them I'm not going to remember so much. There was when I was young, and this is going to be such a really weird little niche reference. When I was young, there was a Canadian television channel, and it's probably still around, called YTV, which was youth television. And they had a product or a show on there called Street Sense, I think it was. And I think it was supposed to be trying to teach like teenagers and youth and stuff about being like money conscious. And they had reviews of different products, generally ones that were pretty bad. And it was like a don't spend your money on it kind of thing. And I remember loving those when I was a kid. And then growing up a bit, there was a show that was done, again, I think here in Canada. I know it was produced in Canada. I don't know if it was ever shown other places. Called The Shopping Bags, which sounds like a terrible name, but it was two women who would review products. And I loved watching that show. And they had such interesting and unique ways of testing products. So for example, if they were testing it would be everything from like mustard to mascara to like, I don't know, car cleaners. Like it was just everything. But if they were testing a mascara, let's say, they would maybe have 5 women who would come and be part of the test, and they would all wear it for like a week, and then everybody would come back and report on it, and they would just do a bunch of different things. And I was always so interested in these kinds of product reviews. And they actually ended up doing another show that I think I liked even more than The Shopping Bags, that was the name will hopefully come to me in a moment, but they reviewed cookbooks. And what they would do is get a cookbook to review. They would each alone, before the show was filmed, do a couple of recipes from it, just to sort of get a feel for what the book was like. And then they would come on filming day. They would have to make a full, like 3 or 4 course meal from specifically that cookbook, and in a specific period of time, and then have to serve it to a trained chef who would give feedback on both how they executed it and how the menu was written. And I always thought that was really cool too. So I think, winding this back to where I was starting from, I think I've always just had sort of a fascination and love of product reviews, that it was kind of what I wanted to do. It's not so much like, I'm not great at makeup. I'm not, makeup artist or trained. I even started, enjoying makeup a little bit later in life. But I like testing products, and I like, putting things through their paces and trying out different things. And so that's kind of where I focus, which is what I enjoy. And then I've also started doing a few other things, but that's kind of where that started from. Yeah, and Mary says, but staying away from the drama as well. Totally as far away as you can get from it. In my personal life, in my YouTube life, in everything else, just far away. Mary says, don't forget to give Melissa a thumbs up. That's very nice. I would also say, if any of you are on my channel, and you will often see that Mary K. Jones comments on stuff, and Mary K. Jones also has her own YouTube channel that I believe she started, I want to say maybe 3 months ago, Mary. So I am subscribed to it. And, if you want to have another person to go and watch, she has her channel as well. Let's see, is there anything else to chat about? What else is up with me? My partner is coming home in a few days, so I'm excited about that, because I've been at home by myself a bit here, which in some ways is fine. It means I've been like really hardcore working on getting schoolwork done. But it also just means that like making dinners for myself and that kind of thing, and it'll be nice to have someone back again. And I am going to be driving to Montreal to pick him up. So that will be like my Friday. Yeah, and I think, talking about summer plans, I think that's pretty much it. I think when I get through my exams at the end of July, it'll be kind of nice that, like, I want to say August is off. That's actually not true. I'm going to be like job searching. But I'm hoping that I will have like a little bit of time, but not too much time, to be able to like enjoy the tail end of summer without it, without being too stressed about finding something to do. So I'm hoping that maybe I'll find a job relatively quickly, but maybe won't need to start until like early September. And that would be like the ideal situation. And it's finally been nice and warm here in Ottawa. The sun is out. Um, and we had such a long, crazy winter that it's just so nice to have sunshine again. And even though I cower in the shade to not sunburn, I'm just looking forward to being out in the heat and the sunshine and soaking it in as much as I can before we get back into the fall again. um, yeah, I feel like that was kind of what I wanted to chat about today was what's coming up. Hopefully next week, if I execute my plans properly, you won't even notice that I am gone because I'm sort of setting up videos to do. Sunshine asks, "Have you ever tried a lash serum? I'm using Roden Fields. My lashes are crazy long and full." Um, I've not used a lash serum. I know some of the mascaras that I use are, supposed to be good for your lashes. Um, I mean, they're not the easiest to see, but I don't feel like I have sparse lashes. I feel like I have fairly average lashes, like nothing crazy, but I'm not too worried about them either. And I think probably one of the things, like, I think false lashes are fun to use sometimes. Um, but I do worry that if I've only worn them like 5 times in my life, so I don't worry that much. But I think I've heard some people say sometimes if you like use glue and false lashes too much, it can really damage like your natural lashes. Excuse me. So I want to keep what I have. But no, I've not heard of or used a lash serum before. That's interesting. I'm curious about that. Um, Sorry, your internet's lagging, Mary. Behind in comments right now. That's okay. Kate says, "Fingers crossed for the perfect job." Yeah, fingers crossed for me too. It's been interesting to do a career change, sort of in the middle of my life, but it's nice that I've been set up to be able to do it this way. Um, yeah, I mean, if there's I've not tried the lash serum, but I don't know if you guys remember during my skincare week, I tried like a hair thickening serum. I don't think I was really able to tell how much it was doing because like I don't have super thin hair, but also it's hard to tell when it's in with everything else, like if it's actually doing much of anything. But I was interested about trying that, so lash serum might be curious. Um, Sunshine says, "I started to use it because I can't find a good mascara, so now I don't need one. The serum is really amazing." Awesome. Does it have a specific name or is it just the Roden and Fields thing? Just in case anybody else is curious about it. Um, I've also seen, and it's so one of the YouTubers that I follow is Thetela, and she has had the eyelash extensions done a couple of times. That to me is something I'd be really apprehensive about, just somebody that close to like my eyes and stuff with glue. Um, but also I've noticed that when people have them, they look good for a while and then they sort of start to like fall out and they look a little like raggedy for a little while. And also it seems really hard to like clean your face properly or take off eye makeup without taking off the false or the like lash extensions. So they don't seem super practical to me. So yeah, like a lash serum, if you're wanting to grow lashes and have long lashes, seems like a better idea than doing those like eyelash extensions and that kind of thing. uh, okay. I think, yeah, worth every penny. It's not cheap. I am sure. I think anything like that that actually makes an impact. And, I think it's fun sometimes to play around with more luxurious and expensive makeup when it gets sent to me. But if I'm going to be putting money into something, it's going to be into like skincare or sort of hair care. I find you can get a lot of good stuff at like drugstore prices for hair care, but it's those sort of like serums and actual skincare products that I'm going to put more money into than makeup necessarily. But I think this is where I'm going to head out, guys, and shut this down. Been on for about a half hour, and this is so awesome. Like, I'm so glad that you guys could all come and join me for this today. And I also love that it's all people that I know and recognize. Um, Let me know, like, as well, is this like a good time for you guys for these kinds of live streams? I tried to choose a time that was like later for me, but maybe if you were like further west, it would still work out. Um, and sort of play around with the timing to see what works. But this has been really fun, and I am going to make sure that this pops up so anybody who wasn't able to join for this is able to watch it if they're interested. I'm surprised the cat that I'm cat sitting hasn't made an appearance. I think she's decided to settle down for the night. But thank you so, so much, you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful next couple of weeks since I am going to be off and doing my thing at camp. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.